welcome back to another episode of the Jeff Crilley Show. I'm so thrilled with my guest, Junior Wakefield. He is a personal trainer, and he could be a bodyguard. I mean, look, go ahead, give us a little. Come on.
I'm not doing the gun pose. I'm good on that one.
I told him there's a gun law in the building. You're not allowed to bring those in here. Anyway, Junior Wakefield, it's a pleasure to have you in studio and to talk about your career and what's next. So thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor. I appreciate it. This is awesome.
So what I'm gonna out myself here on this episode. So yeah, I've been working out with Junior now for 8 years. We work out in the park, and that's part of his philosophy. Is you got to be out there just doing push-ups and running around the park. And so here is a photograph of me in the park. Shirtless. I don't know. Do you remember the photograph and the story behind the photograph?
Yes, it was when we were in the park and we were working out, and I was commenting on how well you were doing, and we were talking about guns and abs and so forth, and then you just pulled off your shirt, and I was like, oh no, I got to take a picture of this one, and I did, and as soon as I took that picture, I know Victoria was like, Jeff, what are you doing?
There's probably nudity laws in Plano, and we shouldn't be doing that in West Plano.
Hey, but I kept that picture, and I wanted to use it as reference, and that was a confidence booster, because not everybody feels comfortable in taking their shirts off, especially in public. But when you did that, it was like, okay. It gives you an opportunity to see exactly where you were and where you are. And now, since the many years that we continue to keep working out, I mean, it's still awesome. It's one of those things that nobody's embarrassed about. So, that's the exciting thing about it. So it's not much that I did. It's you. You had the dedication, determination, and the motivation to keep going.
But you're a great coach and very kind and really become a friend of the family. So let's talk about your philosophy. Working out in the park is unique. I mean, we're the only ones out there working out. Why did you choose to do your training in a park?
When I would go to a gym, whatever workout it is that I wanted to do, somebody would always be on that machine. And so there was no really change to it, because you had to change from either, working your buys or back or legs and so forth. And it was too many distractions, because a lot of times when we get into the gym, we spend more time looking at another person. We watch and see what they do. We're like, oh man, they got a better six pack than me, or they do this and they do that. And we follow ourselves imitating. Well, what I do is I take all the distractions out. We do it in the park. There's no distractions. You're not going to spend 20 minutes looking at somebody else. We're taking 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes, and we're just focused on you or the group that we have.
I agree. A lot of the gyms, it seems to be either posers or it's a pickup scene, or you're all about fitness.
That's true. And the only thing we're picking up some push-ups, we're pushing some cars, we're picking up some dumbbells. So that's pretty much what we're picking up.
One of my favorite quotes from you is the exercise you got to do is push yourself.
The best push-up, the first push-up is pushing yourself back away from the table. That's the first and the best push-up that everybody should be doing. So. And
you're kind of I'm going to call it an accidental personal trainer, because you didn't come out of college saying I'm going to be a personal trainer.
No, not at all. When I was working out in the gym, I had my own philosophy of what I wanted to do. I didn't follow everybody's all the different bodybuilders and decide what they want to do. I said, you know what, I'm going to do something different. And so when I did it, I didn't know that people were watching me. And so as people were watching me, people kept asking, hey, can I work out with you? And I was like, well, sure. And then I found out I was helping them more than I was helping myself. And so then I said, you know what, let me go ahead and try to make this a business for myself. And sure enough, I start charging people, and then I start going through certification trainings. And throughout the number of years that I've been doing it, I'm not going to tell you how many years I've been doing it, which would give away my age. But I've been doing it, and next thing you know, I had a blast. I got away from the gyms. I wanted to make the focus on that person, no matter how old they are or however much they weighed, and that was my focus. And that's been my focus for a long period of time.
Well, let's talk about every business has a win. My business, we get somebody on the news, that's a win. What's a win for you?
Well, I don't do a lot of advertising, and my advertising is actually the person that I work out with. Because once I start to see results, and once they start to see results, I try to push them a little bit harder and not let them know that you're making really good progress. So when they see it and they're like, oh my God, when their friends or their spouses or others see them, they look at it and like, what are you doing? And you're like, hey, well, I'm working out with Junior. And people are like, well, what's Junior? Or where's Junior? And how is this and how is that? And so my business calling card is actually the person. And it's the person that I'm working out with. And I've been blessed and honored throughout the years of the decades I've been doing this, and so which is incredible. Just like for yourself, you are a walking calling card for me, which makes it even better. So that and everybody I work out with, and let me knock on wood, I'm having the great honor and privilege to work out with 18 different champions, and pretty much on a daily basis. So which is really kind of exciting.
What's your best success story, just in terms of number of pounds lost, or like as you look back on your career? Is there one person who stands out and like you saved his life or her life?
There's a young lady, and I don't want to mention her name, and she was over the age of 40. She put a chair in between her front door and her mailbox because she had to sit down before she could make it to the mailbox, and then she had to sit down on the way back. So when we start talking about the workouts and different things like that, it's not a thing that you can do and says, here, let's grab these dumbbells. She stepped on the scale, thought the scale was broken. It was just because she weighed too much. While going through and finding out certain things that she did, which is she ate a lot of potato chips. I took out 8 cases of sodas from her house and put them in my car. So many different things like that. But the toughest part about it is when you get a phone call that says she's sore, or she needs a soda, or she wants fast food or something like that. Taking those things away or really reducing them was really tough. But as she started to lose 10 pounds, it wasn't a big significant thing due to the simple fact that she was over 360 pounds and she was past 45, which is extremely tough.
Wow. And
you're talking about for a woman, or I say a young lady, for anyone to be like that, their self-confidence, their motivation, their self-esteem, and so many different factors keep them inside their house, on their couch, watching TV, locked up, because they don't want to deal with people. But I think the best part about it, after working out for 2 years, when she finally made it to 195 pounds, and that was the first time she had ever been under 200 in over 20 years.
Wow.
That was my amazing story. And that's one of the things that I keep in mind, I keep to heart, nonstop.
That's so amazing. Well, so one of the things I'll say about Junior is having an accountability partner is so critical. I know how to do push-ups in the park without you, but having somebody who's going to text me saying, Jeff, where are you?
Of course.
You keep me accountable, you keep me on track, and you do it in a very loving way, which I think a lot of people, who are watching this, they might be intimidated. Well, look at Junior, he's in great shape, and am I even in good enough shape to work with Junior? It really doesn't matter what shape they turn up at, right?
That's true. It doesn't matter what shape they are. And I find myself, I work with, I've partnered up with a gentleman who's here in the studio audience, I'd like to say.
Okay.
Mike Aldis. We're doing B-City boot camps. We're doing on Saturday mornings in Austin Ranch. And we ask anybody to be able to come out and it doesn't matter age, size, whatever. And I use Mike as an example because when Mike and I worked out, Mike weighed a lot, and I'm not going to go into his weight. That's a story, but I can say over 400 and something pounds. But for him, his motivation to see his strength to be able to lose 150 pounds is something that's amazing.
Wow.
And so, but him not to be intimidated, not to be scared of working out with other people. It's just one of those things. It's focusing on what he has to do to make sure his life is better.
All right, I'm going to call an audible. Come on out here
and
just
goodness.
Come right here between me and Junior and get close enough to the mic where we can hear you. But tell the story of working out with Junior and what it's meant to you. You go ahead, stand right there.
Yeah. So I've known Junior for 11 years.
Yeah.
11 years now. So I worked out growing up, football player, power lifter. So I had kind of a good concept of what should be done, like in the gym. But really, it was like back to what you were saying, accountability, right? I could go in the gym and I would find myself on my phone for 10 minutes between sets. So you're not really getting that workout that you should be getting. Yeah, I was there an hour, but how much active work did I actually do?
Right.
And so I showed up one day at a park. He was just like, hey, we're going to work out in the park tomorrow. You should come. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, sure. I'll show up. So I showed up, group of friends, and the amount of work we did in just a short amount of time, I was sore for a week, right? And then this is me back when I was actually working out. And so, after I got, life got in the way, because it happens to all of us, I ballooned up to 480 pounds. And I wasn't in proximity to him. I was in Florida at this point. But I remember coming home and going to one of his son's football games. And thank God he's a great person, because if I was him, I probably would have dropped my jaw seeing how I left and how I came back. But it didn't have anything for me except can't wait till you move back. And then it's just like, when are we going to start working out again?
That's it. That's it. That's the motivation.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely.
A round of applause for
There
that.
you go. There you go, Mike. Appreciate it.
Right.
Yeah,
Appreciate
so yeah, man, thank you so much.
No, appreciate it, brother.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
Very cool. Well, man, that's a great testimonial right there.
That is a testimonial,
Yeah.
which makes it even better.
What, and the other thing I'll say is that you become almost like a friend and counselor, don't you? Because your clients end up telling you their stories and what's
course.
going on with their family.
The thing that I have to do is, when you deal with so many different personalities, I don't know what happens the night before. I don't know what happens during the day for that person. And some days it may be a tough time. It may be struggling, whatever it is. And so I have to be able to adapt my workouts on the fly just to be able to accommodate that person, because I don't want to come in rah, or come in and do something that their mind is not set for. So what I have to do is I have to find out how they're feeling, what's going on, and so forth, and go from there. But I guess it's a good testimony. For example, this morning, a young lady I worked out with who had car trouble and who got her car fixed, and then she got pulled over because she was speeding. And the best reason, I'm telling you, the story is too tough to believe, but when she told the officer the reason she was speeding was to get to her workout, which was working out with me, I didn't know what to say. I was like, wow, that's incredible. So I start pushing everybody back to make sure that I could get her workout in, because if somebody's going to do that just to work out with me, hey, I'm doing it. So, it's incredible. It's just being able to adapt to so many different people in different environments and different personalities and go from there.
I love it. Well, listen, we're out of time for this segment, but you're a great guest and a great inspiration to so many people. Great dad.
Thank you.
And really appreciate you being on the show.
Jeff, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, and that's it for now, and we'll see you next time.